좀 해야 돼. Hello everyone. I'm Subin, the team leader of Team KITE. Before I begin, I want to say sorry for my presentation because I had some technical issues dealing with my project, and I'm not a tech guy, so I just invested all the time on that technology issue, and I have to improvise my presentation in English. And before I begin, I want to say sorry about my poor English skills. So, okay, let's begin. Okay. Yeah. So before I begin, I wanted to introduce my team members and me right here. We worked together for a month dealing with this topic, and so yeah. And this is our list of contents, and as you've just seen it, our topic is food, but it is not just food. It's about flavor, language, and culture. So as you can see, we're gonna introduce why and how we ended up translating flavor, especially Korean flavor, in English, and we want to introduce how our topic and SDGs have some links between it, and we made two big projects. And the first one is the booklet what we have just given you, and the second one is this one was a bad guy. We made a website using a Notion, which you can find all the good places to eat around Annam. And that was our big project, and we will just wrap up our presentation by talking about our future plans and having some Q&A. Before I begin, I want to tell you the reason why we chose food, flavor, taste of Korea to translate into. We had 5 big questions when we tried to browse into the topics that we could really deal with. And the very first question was, does it need attention? And in case of food and flavor, it's of course yes. And the second question was, is it charming yet challenging? And of course it is yes. And the third question was, is it fun to explore? And of course, absolutely. And the fourth question was, is it relatable to everyone? Definitely. And the fifth question is, does it connect to the SDGs? And this one was the biggest yes. So we thought, why not? Let's just dig into the flavor and food. So the SDGs links that our topic have is SDG 3, SDG 4, SDG 10, and SDG 11. We're gonna break it down following the importance order. So the most important and the biggest SDG we tried to follow was the SDG 3, good health and well-being. So in this case, this SDG 3's goal is to let people and inform people the better choices on health and well-being, and ultimately making people to enjoy better well-being. And our project has this kind of factors: healthy decisions via clear taste info, mood and vibe, concludes to reduce stress, and menus as wellness tools. And we ultimately try to focus on making a safe meal in a foreign land, and that ultimately bring a peace of mind. The second SDG we tried to make a connection was SDG 10, reduce inequalities. In this case of SDG, its goal is to reduce cultural and information gaps and ultimately reduce inequalities. And in case of our project, we thought spicy to spicy to express the full meaning in like 얼큰하다 or like 개느끼하다, 개운하다. It's not enough. So we found a way to express it and develop it into a English expression. So we tried to explain the cultural nuance and not just simply translating it. So we focused on to make a language a tool for everyday English. The third SDG we tried to link was sustainable cities and communities. This is especially connected to our second project, the Notion Map of Anam. This SDG's goal is inclusive, accessible, and welcoming cities. And so, making our Notion Map enable local restaurants to have multilingual access, and we made some map collecting all the infos on taste, price, vibe, and emoji, and try to make Anna for everyone. So we focus on make inclusive infos and announce them, and ultimately to make an inclusive community. And last but not least, it was SDG 4, quality education. It is for our team members, how we felt after finishing all the projects. This SDG is focusing on making practical and context-based learning. And through our project, we learned real-life translation, and we had peer discussions and feedbacks. And we tried to experience cultural adaptations, and we have improved our skills of empathy, communication, and teamwork. So we use translation as hands-on education. Okay, then let's move on to our very first project, which is, as you can find on the very first page, Thanks, Translated. This is our booklet dealing with all the very Korean stuffs on flavor and make it much more international. It has 4 distinct parts. First one is When Flavor Meets Language, and second one is Lost in Translation. Third part is Yes, You Can Enjoy Korean Food, and last but not least, fourth part is Culture Notes from the Table. In the first part, we tried to translate the nuance of very Korean adjectives, which we use when we try to elaborate the flavor or the texture. So if you take a look at the very first part, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 different Korean expressions. And we divided it into a flavor team and texture team. So we have 4 kind of texture expressions and 7 kind of flavor expressions. So when you take a look at all the expressions, we wrote a sentence-like translation, and we added some international food examples which has this kind of flavor or this kind of texture. So personally, my favorite one was 꾸덕하다. So if you take a look at 꾸덕하다, we translated 꾸덕하다 into this kind of expression: dense, thick, and rich, often describing foods with low moisture and a concentrated body texture. And we added some real-life examples, such as New York cheesecake, chocolate fudge, and Greek yogurt. We tried to use the food other than Korean food because we wanted foreigners to understand through these examples and link it into our Korean expression. And our second part is Lost in Translation, Korean dishes that deserve better. So we chose the 3 different Korean food, which is sometimes, very often misunderstood in foreigners who are living in Korea, or even the foreigners who enjoy Korean food. First one is yukkhae. I think you guys might know the very famous, I don't know, was it the GIF or something? That it was like around 경동시장 or somewhere, and they translated the menu yukkhae into 6 times. So we elaborated on the reason why that kind of mistranslation happened, and we explained the real meaning and real menu into a English expression. And the second food we chose is bossam, which is really sometimes mistranslated into kidnapping. So again, we explain why this kind of mistranslation happens and what is bossam. The third one is 감자탕, and this is kind of a much more popular misconception because a lot of Korean people also think this way too. So also we clarify what does 감자 mean and what kind of dish 감자탕 is. And the third part, which is yes, you can enjoy Korean food, and this is a guide for vegetarians, vegans, and halal eaters. As we made this booklet as for people who are coming from the other culture than Korean culture, so we picked our recommendations to vegetarians, vegans, and halal eaters. So first, 산채 비빔밥, second, 된장찌개국, and 사찰 음식, and we added some short, compact explanation of what kind of dish of each of them is, and how you could really enjoy it as being a vegetarian, vegan, or halal. And the second and the fourth part is the very Koreanish table manners. So we added minimum order rules, self-service stations, and hot pot alarm. And second one is our Notion map. If you dive into this QR code, you can find our Notion map. And there's not too much things to say. We have made interface using Notion, and we categorized it into different things, and we introduced the menus and translated the menus and the vibe of that restaurant or cafe. And so 지금 시간이 다 되었다는 얘기를 들어서 여기 그냥 빠르게 그냥 치고 넘어가겠습니다. 저희 북넷 가지고는 어떤 추후 계획을 할 수 있을지 생각을 해봤는데, 이걸 가지고 이제 그 KU 그 교환학생분들께 나눠주거나 아니면 협업하는 게 가능할 것 같다고 생각을 했고요. 그리고 실제로 교환학생들이 한국에서 어떤 식생활에 어려움을 겪었는지를 설문조사를 받아서 시즌2의 북넷을 만드는 생각을 해보았습니다. 그리고 두 번째는 저희 노션 맵을 지금 일단 식당이랑 카페밖에 없어요. 나중에 술집을 추가해서 시즌2 맵을 만드는 것까지 생각을 해보고 프로젝트를 종료하게 되었습니다. 많이 길어졌는데 끝까지 들어주셔서 정말 감사하고 다른 팀들도 발표하겠습니다. 감사합니다.